I had a lot of people DMing me about this situation that I honestly had no idea anything about. I personally don't think I own any Bitmap books, but I own a lot of video game books in general. So maybe I do. I just don't know it. But regardless of that, there is a situation that's going on right now with them that is extremely controversial, would be an understatement. They are, I'm going to give you the TLDR real quick, and then we'll go into what happened here. But basically, what happened is someone complained, a creator called Stika. A lot of people might know Stika, especially in the retro gaming community, who brought up the attention of an author of one of their books with some older tweets that are just cringe at best. And Bitmap Books took those tweets and were like, we're going to get rid of this writer and take his profits and any recurring revenue that he gets. And he is now canceled, and we're firing him from our association. He doesn't write for us anymore. And all the money that he was going to get paid, we have agreed with him that it will be donated to a charity, which is honestly insane. Insane. This guy was a writer for their book. They had an agreement in place. Money was coming to him. And because they dug up some old tweets, now they're finding a way to not pay him. It's not a great look. But let's start with Bitmap Books and their side of the story. They said, "Dear supporters of Bitmap Books, last week after the launch of our latest book, the definitive book of SNES RPGs Volume 1, we first became aware of some historical comments made online in 2022. This is three years ago, by the author, Moses Norton. We fully understand that these comments were insensitive, offensive, and are absolutely not views shared by Bitmap Books or any of our stakeholders. We have spoken to Moses, and he's agreed. I bet, was this like the mafia? He agreed, or else some bad things might happen to him if he doesn't agree, like, I don't know, threatened with lawsuits and things like this. He agreed that Bitmap Books will donate all, bolded and underlined, his royalties, present and future, to charity. We have selected Special Effect, an organization that helps severely physically disabled people enjoy video games through the innovative use of technology. Specialeffect.org.uk. Does it shock anyone that this is originating out of the UK, by the way? Ultimately, it's on our shoulders who we work with. So we take full responsibility for the situation. If you took full responsibility for the situation, why wouldn't you, in solidarity, donate all your earnings as well? Because right now, all you're doing is donating his royalties, present and future, to charity. But Bitmap Books is not being affected by this, even though you guys are the ones that hired this person on. And apparently you're so offended by him, but you're welcome to take his money from his book. He's not allowed to get it, but you'll take it. Oh boy. Oh boy. We research all prospective authors before we begin working together. So this is clearly an area where we need to further improve. We hope that this resolution means that we can move forward and have lots planned for the rest of 2025 and beyond. Sam Dyer, founder of Bitmap Books. This is such a terrible PR move. It's actually impressive. So I quote tweeted this. I said, Bitmap Books just exposed exactly how rotten they really are. They claim to be taking the moral high ground after old comments from one of the authors resurfaced. But what they really did was just use this moment here to profit off trendy cancel culture going on. Instead of honoring their agreement and paying the man what he earned, they announced all his royalties will be donated to charity. So they are keeping their money and donating his. That isn't integrity. That's literally theft with a fancy PR spin. It's a company pretending to care while attempting to siphon some goodwill and turning someone else's hard work into their own moral currency. They hope for applause, social justice points, and glowing headlines while the author walks away empty-handed. This isn't accountability, it's exploitation. If you ordered their latest book, I'd encourage you to cancel your pre-order if you can. Companies like this don't deserve your money. They deserve consequences for selling out basic fairness in exchange for approval from a handful of bullies on social media. Bitmap Books chose image over ethics, and it's one of the shadiest moves I've seen in a long time. The dude said some mildly shitty things, but the reaction here by Bitmap Books is beyond insane. People are allowed opinions. Let's not go overboard. Some of the stuff he said is cringe at best. Now, I know the first thing people are going to think when they're like, wait, Smash, your opinion and take on this situation is different than that crazy bitch that got fired from Sucker Punch Studios for the unhinged shit she was saying about Charlie Kirk. I'm like, yes, it is. Because this person is not dancing on the grave of someone who just got murdered and assassinated. This is just some cringe tweets that I don't even get offended by. Let's see. It says Sticka says, let's be honest, anything is a hoot next to the mediocre gaming experiences of the Super Nintendo. And I said, sure, if you're from a third world country. But okay. Nindy is still making consoles. Where's Sega? Making a monopoly on Brazilian homebrews nobody cares about. Wee! Maybe that's why I like him, because he says we. Here's another one. Did you guys get PS2 over there yet? Xenophobia, so good from Sticka. Oh boy, here comes the cries of misogyny, fascism, xenophobia. Oh my. I don't know. I mean, I would encourage Bitmap Books to let people know what specific thing that this guy said, because in my research of him and what other people are saying, there were no tweets that were exposed where I was just like, wait, that's why you're taking his money away? What, what the hell? Even Jay Hooft is like, I actually agree with you for a change. I said, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Laura SDG says, thank you for calling attention to this. The well-read mage deserves better, and I want him and his family to know we have his back. If you don't know Laura, she is game director at Stirring Dragon Games, making 8-bit RPG Unknown Realm SDG with her husband. This is like based indie game developers standing up for what they feel is right. Sir D says, historical comments, laugh my ass off. Joking aside, though, that the well-read mage guy is a sack of shit SJW who tried to gatekeep the Final Fantasy franchise from le evil Nazi bigots. It's hilarious to see him getting purity checked by the very ideology he was trying to pander to. Maybe so, but that doesn't mean I agree with it. That should prove my standpoint on these things. I don't just play favorites with playing sides of, oh, who agrees with me, I'm going to stand with. It's like, no, if there's an injustice, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. That's fucked up. Now, I'm sure Sir D probably feels the same way, but I would agree. The irony of people that were pushing for this is getting purity checked by the very ideology they were pandering to. That's part of it. Madam Savvy says, maybe if we donate to charity, people will believe us. No. You've proven you will knee-jerk against anyone who works with you. Why would anyone trust that? That's a great point, by the way. If I was an author and I was looking to work with a video game book publishing company, I would steer fucking clear of this one. I'd be like, yikes. I actually have my opinion that I say online once in a while. I'm sure as shit, if you want to find something that I've said that you can twist into something, it's probably not too hard. Just look into my background, check my tweets in the past. You'll probably find something that's like, oh, that's bigoted. It's like, well, I'm sure it is, but what's the context of it and how long ago was it? And people do learn and change over the years. That's the other thing. Also, Moses was probably just trying to figure out how to salvage his reputation, because you just left things to people's imagination instead of showing what he said. Exactly. That's my biggest problem with it. No one sane would want to work with this group anymore. The second response is just as bad as the worst. The first one, in many ways, when you break it down, this response is still bad, They still smear this guy in this. They apologize and reverse course. Take the W. Wait a second. Do we have an update? This is breaking. I didn't know about this. Hold on. Hold on. Guys, holy shit. This is breaking. I did not know this. Dear supporters of Bitmap Books, although I stand by the fact that Moses' comments were ill-advised and insensitive, the whole thing blew up and was made much bigger than it needed to be. Moses has publicly apologized for any offense caused and has the original poster of the comments who did not intend to cause this much trouble. I do not feel that this warrants an author losing his livelihood and ruining years of hard work to produce the book. And people say what we do is useless and meaningless and doesn't change anything. Holy shit. There was such a massive pushback online about this. This was fast. Wow. Despite multiple accusations to the contrary, Moses freely agreed to donate his royalties to charity. I don't believe that. There was no coercion from me. I don't believe you, but okay. However, we both recognize that due to an increasingly stressful situation, that decisions were rushed on both sides. I'm pleased to say that Moses and I have spoken again today. We stand together and have agreed that he will receive 100% of his royalties. Wow. Maybe I was hasty in my response, and I'm happy to admit that. At the same time, I sincerely thought I was doing the right. Thing to diffuse an increasingly difficult situation. I will commit to donating all the company's profits from this first print run to the charity special effect. Damn. All right, Bitmap. There you go. There you go. Because you can't promise it to them and then take it away unless you're going to replace it with your own money right now. Okay. That's good. That's good. The bottom line is that Moses has apologized for his original comments and will now be paid the royalties that are rightfully his. Moses and myself have received a large amount of personal abuse and threats over the past few days. Never okay, but I mean, not surprising based off of what this decision was. We hope that this statement will bring some closure to what has happened. Sam Dyer, founder of Bitmap Books. Wow. And Savvy coming in with the fuck you at the end. No one should ever work with you because of that. And you also proved you were willing to profit off something you called offensive. Also, no one believes the donation thing was something born out of goodwill. It was a band-aid to try to salvage a reputation you damaged by not showing what was said and letting people imagine wildly what was said. He didn't celebrate assassinations. He didn't say to kill anyone. He didn't even say anything bad. Banger. So it sounds to me like Bitmap Books, this is like when you have Wokies running companies, they have no idea what the real world is actually like. So the real world hits them and they're like, oh shit, what do I do? I can't just pretend to be gay and people just give me the benefit of the doubt because I'm having a very flamboyant voice anymore. Like, people don't give a shit about that. This is rubber hits the road. What are you doing when something is fucked up like this? I'd like to think Bitmap Books has tried to make it right, but I still lean towards what Madam Savvy says with this guy. Maybe he'll learn in the future, but having such a knee-jerk reaction, trying to cancel someone and give their money away as quick as they could because of comments you wouldn't even say what they even said were even bad, is insane to me. The entire situation is wild. What a roller coaster. But yeah, we got it all covered in this video. From being completely canceled to being back. Bitmap Books is still a thing. So if you have any interest in this organization, this is their website. And again, in the UK, which I almost wonder, being based in the UK, if that fucks with people's brain. Like, if you're a wokie living in the UK, you think the rest of the world feels the way you do. It's like, no, bro. What the UK is doing is absolutely insane. You are the minority. And people don't want a dictatorship. They don't want their freedoms taken away from them. They sure as shit don't want money just going to charity because you want to cancel someone over words you won't even tell people what they even said. That's what's insane about all this. But I gotta be honest, the books look clean. They look really good. But yeah, that is the situation with Bitmap Books. And at this point, I guess we can say we can close the book on this situation. Sorry, I had to say it, but I will leave that one there.